Hello everyone, we are group 10, consists of Erudite, Jika, and me, Angel. Today we are going to tell about grammar and context. Before we start our presentation, we would like to tell you about storytelling of Cinderella.
The story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a kind girl named Cinderella. Cinderella was lived with her stepmother and two stepsisters. One day, they heard news if the king and queen were going to have a ball, and the prince would be choosing a wife. All the young ladies in the land were invited to come. Cinderella also wanted to come, but her stepmother didn't give Cinderella permission to leave. Until Cinderella met with the fairy at the garden. The fairy wanted Cinderella to go to the ball. She made Cinderella like a princess with her blue gown and glass slippers. The fairy said if the magic only lasts until midnight, and she must back home before then. When Cinderella arrived at the ball, everybody was awestruck with her beauty. Even the prince fell in love with her. Cinderella enjoyed herself so much and forgot about the clock. Dong, the clock said. And suddenly Cinderella remembered about the fairy. She suddenly left the prince. She ran to the steps until one of her slippers fell off, but Cinderella kept running. On the next day, the prince go to every house to find the girl whose foot fit in the glass slippers. And finally, he found her, and it was Cinderella. After that, Cinderella and the prince were married and they lived happily. That was the story of the Cinderella. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Erudite for telling a story about Cinderella. Let's start our discussion. For the first tenses is the simple past tense. What is the simple past tense? The simple past indicates that an activity or a situation began and ended at a particular time in the past. So these tenses are usually used in narrative text. These tenses have three forms. For the positive form, subject plus verb to. For the negative form, subject plus did not plus verb. For the integrative form, did plus subject plus verb. For the example, once upon a time, a girl named Cinderella lived with her stepmother and stepsister. Di sini, lived merupakan bentuk kedua dari kata dasar live. Kata ini juga menjelaskan bahwa pada waktu itu, yang merujuk pada zaman dahulu, Cinderella tinggal bersama ibu tirinya dan saudari tirinya. Maka dari itu, kalimat ini termasuk menggunakan simple past tense. Okay, for the next tenses, my friend Angelina will explain it to you.
Now we are continued to the past progressive. The past progressive indicates continuing section, something that was happening, going on at some point in the past. There are three forms for these tenses. For the positive form, the formula is subject plus was or were plus verb in. And for the negative, subject plus was or were plus not plus verb in. For the interrogative, we start with was or were and then plus subject, and plus verb ing. In this part, we have one example of past progressive from the story of Cinderella. The example is the king and queen were going to have a ball. Nah, kenapa di part ini disebut sebagai past progressive? Karena kalimat ini tuh menjelaskan bahwa raja dan ratunya pada masa lampau tersebut sedang mengadakan suatu acara di sebuah hall atau sebuah pesta dansa seperti itu. Maka so that's why this sentence is an example of the past progressive.
Now, I will explain about the past perfect. Past perfect express an activity that was completed before the another activity or time in the past. There are three forms from the past perfect. First, positive form. The positive form is subject plus had plus verb 3, and the second is the negative form. The negative form is subject plus had not plus verb 3, and the last or the third is the question form. The question form is had plus subject plus verb 3. The example from the positive form is he had met many of the young women. He is the subject, had is the head, and met is the verb 3. That's it about the past perfect tense.
These are some of the resources that we used for this presentation. And that's all our presentation about simple past, past progressive, and past perfect in Cinderella story. Thank you for watching.